So just gently settling down. And if you're happy to, just let your eyes softly close. Or keep them open if you prefer. And if you want to keep them open, just let them focus softly on an object or perhaps the wall, the carpet. Just let the gaze soften, as if you're not really looking at anything in particular, just staring into space. And as you settle, I just want to talk a little bit about automatic pilot, the state that we often find ourselves in our moment-to-moment experience, bouncing from thought to thought and emotion to emotion, very rarely conscious of the pattern of our minds and conscious of how our thoughts and our feelings are chaining off of each other and shaping our experience. And one of the founding principles of mindfulness is this bringing of attention to the momentary experience, to the situation we find ourselves in. And as we practice this, we become better at noticing what's going on. We become a detective to our thoughts and our mood states. And if we can bring a kind and compassionate sense of curiosity to ourselves, which is easy to say, but does take a little bit of practice. We're not always very good at being kind and compassionate and curious about ourselves. It's easier to judge and to blame and to criticize. But attempting to cultivate this sense of curiosity and a sense of compassion towards what we find helps us recognize patterns and behaviors and recognize them more sympathetically. Just sitting back and really seeing what is happening moment to moment, not judging it and not seeking to change it, simply becoming aware. And that simple act of awareness itself will help separate you from the automatic pilot, from the chain reaction of thoughts and feelings and emotions. And will start you on a path to be able to take discerning action and choices. Perhaps, if you wish to, then moving away from the path that you may have found yourself on. And being able to do that with a more rational awareness, rather than being a slave to the emotion or mental patterns of your life. So I just invite you, as often as possible, in every aspect of your day-to-day, just to stop and pause and to simply take a single breath and just focus on that single breath and just let that separate you from the moment that you were lost in. And just ask yourself in that moment, what's going on right now? What are the thoughts in my head right now? What are the feelings in my head right now? And it might feel awkward and clunky to fit it into life to start with, but like all skills, everything we practice, the more we do it, the easier it becomes. So just try and catch yourself a single breath, a single moment, and just check in. Where are you right now? And the first practice we're going to do tonight, the ABC grounding meditation, is a really good foundation for that assessment. And we're going to spend longer on it tonight than you might in the moment of the day-to-day world and experience. But by practicing it in this way, you get to get a real feel for how it works. And then hopefully you can start to gently apply it to your own life day to day. So just check in now with yourself, with what's going on. take a moment to notice the thoughts that are happening right now. What mental checklist is there right now? And perhaps there isn't one. Perhaps you are free from thought at the moment, in which case that's completely fine too. But if there are thoughts, just take a moment to note what they are with curiosity, with a sense of kindness and compassion if possible. Thoughts from the day past, or perhaps anticipation of tomorrow. Perhaps curiosity or frustration at the process that you're in right now. It really doesn't matter what the thoughts are. You are not your next thought. We don't control our thoughts in the way that we think we do. So just take a moment and see what's going on right here, right now. And now check in with the emotional landscape of the mind right now. What feelings are there here? Again, bringing kind, compassionate, curious attention, just as best you can, to your emotional landscape. Perhaps you feel calm and relaxed. Perhaps you feel nervous and agitated. Perhaps bored or excited. Again, it doesn't matter. The purpose of the exercise isn't to change anything. You're not looking to find anything in particular. You're not looking to be any way in particular. You're simply and wholeheartedly becoming aware of what is now. And now just check in with the feeling tone of this experience. And feeling tone is simply whether the moment, the experience you're in right now is pleasant or unpleasant or simply okay. And just watch and be mindful of any eagerness to be relaxing right now. And if you find relaxation, then that's completely welcome and fine. But just be mindful of perhaps any eagerness to be somewhere other than you are. So what is it right now? Pleasant, unpleasant, or simply okay? Thoughts, emotions, feeling tone. Just building a picture of the moment. And having done that, just let that be to one side and bring your attention now to the breath. And try and focus as keenly as possible on the raw experience of breathing, as if this is the first breath you've ever taken or have ever noticed. Where is the breath most obvious in the body right now? And just invite curiosity to this experience. You're not looking for the breath to be in any way other than you find it. What's the rhythm of the breath right now? And see if you can observe it without trying to change it. And if you find you are trying to change the rhythm of the breath, just observe that in itself. Is the breath deep or shallow? Rhythmic? Or perhaps a little erratic? How does the breath sound in the body? Can you hear yourself breathing? Not imagining the experience of breathing, not imagining how you'd like it to feel, but simply inviting awareness and attention to what is. See if you can soften, loosen, and let go. And just be open to the raw, energetic experience of each breath. How does it feel? How does the breath feel at the tip of the nose? Are you aware of cooler air coming in, perhaps warmer air leaving again? Can you feel the nostrils expanding and relaxing with the breath? Can you feel the air in the sinuses and the throat? Is there a gentle expansion in the neck? Notice the movement of the chest, the shoulders, the tummy. Perhaps you can feel the lower back moving with the breath. Perhaps the upper back moving with the breath. We have a tendency to notice only the front of the body and its movements. Just see if you can be open to any experience at the back of the body with the breath. Again, not imagining something, not looking to find it in any particular way. Just being curious. Just as best you can. Noticing what's there right now. Just note if you want to, how is the experience of the breath right now? What's the feeling tone? Is it pleasant? Or is it unpleasant or simply okay? Right now. I'm going to invite you to gently set aside the experience of the breath and bring your awareness as keenly as possible to the experience of the hands as they rest on you or lie perhaps on the surface of a chair or the bed. And allow yourself again to be open to the raw experience, the raw sensations of the hands. Tingling, numbness, hot and cold, sense of pressure or gravity, fabric on the skin. See if you can loosen from the mental image of the shape of your hands and allow yourself to sit with the raw sensations of the experience of the hands. Not looking for it to be any way in particular. Bringing a kind and curious attention, just as best you can, to what's happening in the hands right now, inside and on the surface. And perhaps if you can be aware of the breath and the experience of the hands at the same time, and how that feels, how that presents itself in awareness. Does the experience of the hands change as you breathe? How do the sensations in the hands move from moment to moment? Does the experience in the left hand feel the same as the experience in the right hand? Seeing if you can allow this experience to be without judgment, without trying to change it. Now just gently letting go of the experience in the hands and bringing awareness to the experience of the feet in the same manner, the same kindly, curious attention. What's happening in the feet right now? What are the sensations that let you know that you have feet? Being as open just as best you can to the raw experience, the sense of pressure, temperature, tingling or numbness, sensation of fabric, the experience of gravity. How do the feet feel within and around? And what does that experience feel like? Do the feet feel relaxed and calm? Or is there a sense of achiness and tiredness? And if you do find some achiness or tiredness, or equally if you find something pleasant, Just see if you can move a little closer to that and sit with the experience and the sensation. Just resting with it and seeing what happens. Does the experience change at all? Does it soften? Does it contract? Not looking for it to present in any way in particular, not looking to change it. Simply seeing what happens when you rest with it. And once more, open to the experience inside and around the foot. And now see if you can bring your awareness of breath and the feet simultaneously. And notice how that feels and whether that changes the experience in any way. How do the feet feel as you breathe? Is there a sense of the breath in the foot? Do the patterns of energy change? Now just see if you can bring your awareness to the hands and the feet and the breath simultaneously. These three anchors for the mind. Not imagining this in any way. Simply resting with it as you find it. And perhaps noting where your awareness feels clearest, most settled, perhaps with the breath, perhaps with the hands, perhaps with the feet, perhaps all three evenly. Be curious and explore the comfort of these anchors. In the last few minutes of this practice, just become open to the experience of sound. So really just open the ears and the mind to the experience of sound around you, the sound of my voice, the sound of other people, other creatures, traffic, television, the world outside and closer. And again, just see if you can be with the raw experience of the sound. Try not to attach judgments. And if you find thoughts appearing with the sounds, just observe those too. Observe that automaticity of response with curiosity, with kindness. And as you rest open listening to sounds, just notice what happens to the thoughts as you really listen. Perhaps you might find some stillness from the noise for a moment, whilst being open to sound. So just resting now in the experience of hearing and the breath and the physical sensations of the hands and the feet. And just check in. Is this pleasant? unpleasant, or simply okay? And does this moment need to be any other way? Does it need anything else other than what is right here, right now? Thank you.